And the good news is, well, we have lots of good news. One of the good news is that we are done with grammar, so we don't have any more grammar work to do. So woohoo, yay! Party time. And yes, and we are going to actually, I'm going to teach you guys how to use Google Slides. And then you're going to give a little presentation next week. That's part of your assignment for next week. So let me check something really quick here, because I know you guys have been working on paragraphs for the Oceania paper. And let's see. Yep. So you just finished your third body paragraph about Oceania, and we're going to stop there on your paper part. So it's only going to be 3 paragraphs. Originally, I was going to have you do 5, but you know what? It's just, there's a lot going on right now for everybody, and it just seemed easier to just keep it 3 paragraphs. Um, I remember Harmony was writing about animals, and Christian, you were writing about Pearl Harbor, right? Those 3 things. That's your topic or your subject, really. So, I know Christian has done Google Slides before, and Harmony, have you ever made Google Slides before? Have you ever done that before? Okay. So this will be new. So basically, it's like PowerPoint. If you've ever heard of PowerPoint, I see you getting around on your computer, Christian. So hold on just a second and we'll do this together. But a PowerPoint is when, and it's the same as a Google slide, except for PowerPoint is when you present offline. And Google Slides is something you can present online. They're almost the same thing though. So basically it's a slideshow where you have pictures and just a few words and maybe a graph or something on a slide while you're telling somebody about something. So you might be teaching them about something, or you could be just sharing your research. Like that's what you guys are going to work on because both of you did your own research on Oceania and something about Oceania. And the way to present that in a visual form is to create these slides. And so we're going to learn Google Slides because it's a lot easier to make it and attach it to your Google Classroom because you know how Google is. They've got Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Slides. There's so many apps that Google has and they work good together. So that's why we're using Google Slides. So what I'm going to do is walk you through how to make those slides. So if you can minimize your Zoom and open up a tab on your internet, I'm going to do it at the same time here so you can see what I'm doing. And I know Christian's done this before, so you might go a little faster than me. But for this first part, let's just walk through this together so we can do it because I know this is Harmony's first time. Okay. So my Google is pink. Yours might be a different color. That doesn't really matter. But what you want to do is get to a Google page like this. And then you want to make sure your icon here on the right, mine has my picture on it, but yours might have a letter for your name. But make sure that's your account. When you put your arrow on top of it, it shows an email. You want to make sure that's the same account as your Google Classroom account. And then you see this little symbol next to it. It's called a waffle. It's like 9 dots grouped together, and you want to click on that. So go ahead and click those 9 dots right there. And this is where you're going to see all of Google's apps. And there's a bunch of them. There's a lot of things that Google does now. They keep adding to this. But if you scroll through this list down, you'll see one that says slides and it's yellow like that. And you want to click on slides. Give me a thumbs up if you were able to find slides and click on it. Okay, good. And then mine has a bunch in here because my stuff from all my students is collected right here. But I want you to look for where it says blank presentation. There's a big plus sign. And I want you to click on that blank presentation. And then it's going to open up this. And it's like a big blank page, and you've got some stuff on the side here. Give me a thumbs up if you see that on yours too. Okay, good. Good. I see that, Harmony. So on the side, you're going to see what's called templates. And those are interesting and good, but we're not going to use those for your first, at least for my class, for your first time doing the Google Slides. I want you to look at the toolbar at the top of that big blank slide, and it's kind of a light blue gray color right here. There's a lot of tools listed. And I want you to find the word theme and click theme. Thumbs up, found it? Okay, I see that. You're looking for a theme. If you don't see it, let me know. I can help you find it. Okay, good. I see that. So on the side, you should have now a list of different choices. So what I want you to do is just scroll through this list, different colors, different fonts, and I want you to pick one that's already there and click on it. Go through all of them and look for your favorite one of the choices you have there. Some of the fonts are different colors. Some of the backgrounds are different colors. So I want you to pick one of those and click on it. I'm going to pick this one, but you can pick whichever one you like, okay? Let me know when you picked one. Okay, good. Okay, good. Got one. Now, do you see where it says click to add title? Yours might look a little different than mine, but that's okay. I want you to click in that box that says click to add title. And it's going to give you what's called a cursor. That's where you can start typing. And I want you to put in this box the title of your paper. I know that Harmony wrote about animals, so whatever title you picked for your paper, I want you to put it there. If you don't have a title yet, you can just put animals in Oceania. Oops, animals in Oceania. And for you, Christian, yours would be Pearl Harbor or whatever title you made your paper. Might have a more creative title than that. So go ahead and type in that box that says add title, the title of your paper. So Christian, what did you put in your box for your title?
The attack on Pearl Harbor.
Perfect. I like it. And how about you, Harmony? What's in your title box?
Oceania. Animals of Oceania.
I like that. I'm going to change mine to of too. I like that. Good. And then do you see where it says click to add subtitle? Click on that too. Wherever that is on your page, click to add subtitle. And I want you to put a capital B and then Y, comma, and then your first and last name. So for me, I'm just going to put Bob Smith for an example, but you're going to put your first and last name on that first slide. And once you got that in there, give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. And by the way, while you're working on that, later, this is going to be your homework assignment for the week. It's going to be pretty fun. If you want to try a different theme later, you can change the theme and it won't erase anything. It just will adjust the new theme to what you already have on slide. So you can play around with that later. So for today, I'm going to have you just stick to the one you picked for today. But just know you can play with the future features later and change things if you want. Okay, I saw that, Harmony. So now we're going to add a new slide. So like earlier, I showed you this light blue gray bar of tools. There's more tools above that. You'll see file, edit, view, insert, format, and then slide. So I want you to find the word slide at the top here and click on it. And then I want you to click the first option that says plus new slide. Go ahead and click plus new slide and you'll see a new page.
You can
Okay.
also push enter.
Okay.
This
There's lots of different ways to do it. Thank you, Christian. I'm going to keep it super simple, but I know you're familiar with this, so that's good. Yes, that's really good. So for mine, my slide looks different now, and I want you guys to see on the left side, this is keeping track of all your slides. So you can still see your first slide right there, and then you can see in number two, this is the second slide. Okay, so this is where I want you to look at your paper that you wrote. You guys should have 3 paragraphs so far for your paper about Oceania. Yours is Pearl Harbor Christian, and Harmony's is animals. So if you need to open a new tab, you can open a new tab and find your paper, or if you have it printed or somewhere else, look at your paper. And this is where you're going to click a title right here where it says click to add title. Whatever you wrote your first paragraph about. For Harmony, I have a note here that says you wrote about the types of animals. So that can be your title for this slide. So yours can be types of animals or something like that. For Christian, you wrote about the plan of attack, right? So you're going to come up with a title that matches your first paragraph. I think your first paragraph about Pearl Harbor was the plan of attack. Got it? Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you got your title for this slide. Okay, good. Now, one thing I really want to tell you guys about when you're doing a slideshow presentation, by the way, you're going to be doing this in high school, and if you go on to college, you'll do it in college, and even sometimes in different jobs later as adults. You're going to use Google Slides or PowerPoint, and you're going to show a presentation for something. So something I want you to remember about this style of presentation is you don't want to have too many words on your slide. It's really, really important for you to remember that because you're going to talk about your paper while the rest of the class is looking at your slide. And if you have a bunch of words on there, we're going to be trying to read and listen to you talk at the same time, and it's too hard to do. You won't be able to really get what's going on. So your slide needs to be really, 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 really simple. Just a few words and some pictures, which is what we're going to work on next. So click on the box that says click to add text on yours. Go ahead and click there. And then you're going to see a blue box and your cursor is blinking again. It's ready to type. And I want you to use bullet points. Okay. Bullet points are basically just a big dot with just words next to it. It's not a complete sentence. It's just simple words that you put next to it. So to find bullets, go up to that blue-gray bar again right here, and you're going to see 3 little dots in a row, right where mine is, and it says more when you get your pointer over it. Click on that, and guess what? It opens up more tools. There's all these tools that are part of this app. So now that you opened that, move your cursor over a little bit to where you see 3 dots and 3 lines next to each other. When you put your finger on it, it says bulleted list, and you're going to click on that. And then you're going to see a big dot on your slide like mine. That's called a bullet point. And bullet points are meant for just groups of words. They are not meant for full sentences. So you're not going to write a full sentence here. But I want you to think of 2 to 4 different, 2, 3, or 4 different things that you can say about that paragraph you wrote for your first paragraph of your assignment. So that's why I want you to have your paper up so you can see what you wrote in that paragraph. What are 2 or 3 or 4 things that you want your people to remember when you share about your paper, like the most important parts of that paragraph? So for you, Christian, it's about the planning of attack on Pearl Harbor. So look at your paragraph and look for 2, 3, or 4, somewhere around there, things that you want people to remember. So just pick one to start. Let me start simple. Okay, so just pick one thing about that you want people to remember about that paragraph. So, like for Harmony, you can pick an animal that you talked about in that paragraph. And for Christian, you can pick like who was involved in the planning of the attack. So thumbs up if you thought of one thing you want to say. Okay, what did you pick, Christian, for your first bullet point?
I was thinking like, um, oh yeah, why they were attacking.
Okay, and what was the reason for the attack?
They wanted to steal oil from Asia.
Oh, okay. So Japan wanted to steal oil, or who wanted to steal oil?
Japan wanted to steal oil.
Japan did?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would put Japan wanted to steal oil. Or you could even just put steal oil. So something short like that next to your bullet point. Okay. And how about you, Harmony? What's one of the animals that you wrote about in that first paragraph?
Marine creatures.
Marine creatures. Is that what you said? Marine?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you type that next to your bullet point?
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. I like it. Very good. So after you write it, I'm going to put yours here, marine creatures. After you type whatever you're putting next to your first bullet point, then hit return or enter on your keyboard, and you'll see it gives you a second bullet point. You see how you have two. So now I want you both to pick another fact from that same paragraph that you want people to remember. That's really important to you, okay? That you want people to remember. So look at your paragraph and pick a second thing you want them to remember. And remember, you're not doing full sentences, just a couple words, just a few words here. So give me a thumbs up when you find your second bullet point. Okay, what did you put for yours, Christian?
How many planes they sent?
How many planes they sent? Okay, good. So how are you going to write it as a bullet point?
They sent that many planes.
Oh, do you know how many?
I think it was like 353.
So you don't need the word they. You can just put sent 353 planes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because remember, these aren't complete sentences. That's why we're not even going to put a period. We're just going to leave it open like that. And then Harmony, what's your second bullet point?
Vibrant birds.
Vibrant birds. I like that. I didn't mean to capitalize that one. Okay. Marine creatures, vibrant birds. I like that. Okay. And now you have to have at least two. So you got your two. So we're going to stop there on this slide, but if there's more you want to put on this for your homework this week, you can add more bullet points. All you would do is hit enter again at the end of the last one, and it'll put in a new bullet point for you. But I want you to work on the rest of that part later. And I want to show you how to add a picture to your slide because remember, these slides need to be interesting. Right now, it's kind of boring. It just has words on it. But I want you to add some pictures to it. So going back to your toolbar at the very top where we had File, Edit, View, Insert, go ahead and click Insert. And then you're going to see the word image. And when you put your pointer finger on image, it opens up another list of tools right here. And I want you to find the one that says Stock and Web and click on that. Okay. When you click on Stock and Web, you're going to see some options on the right side of your screen. You're going to see a category that says Stock Images, GIFs, Stickers, and Google Images. Do you guys see that? Give me a thumbs up if you see that on yours. Okay, good. Now, I do not want you to use any GIFs in your presentation because this is an academic presentation for school, and the GIFs are just kind of goofy. But I want you to use stock images. We're going to start with that. So go ahead and click stock images. And then I want you to click in the search bar at the top of that. And then you're going to type in what this slide is about. So, Harmony, yours would be you would use uh, marine creatures in Oceania. Try that search. And Christian, you can put Pearl Harbor. Okay. And I want you to scroll through there. See if I can help Harmony if I put marine creatures in Oceania. See what happens. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch. Maybe try marine life in Oceania. You might have to try a couple different searches because that kind of looks more like a sticker page. Oh, they all look that way. Maybe fish in Oceania. And if you mentioned in your paragraph maybe like a specific type of fish in that paragraph, you can look up the name of that fish. This one kind of looks interesting to me. That's a cool picture. But go ahead and scroll through your images. And then when you see one that you like, that you want to put in, just go ahead and click on it. You can pick, okay? For you, Christian, pick one that you like for Pearl Harbor. And you're going to notice when you click on that image, it's huge. It covers up your words. It's too big, right? I'm going to show you how to shrink this because you want to be able to see your words. So when you click on the picture, you should see a blue outline around the edge of it. You want to go to a corner. I like to go to the upper right corner, and you're going to put your little pointer on it until it turns like into a diagonal arrow like that. And then you click and hold it, and then you drag it to the middle. Okay, so click the corner. You might have to try it a few times. You got to wait until that little arrow, the diagonal arrow shows up. And then click and drag it to the middle of the picture and it starts to shrink it. I'm going to make mine even smaller. Okay. I'm going to let you play with it for a minute, but once you get it to the size you want, you're going to make sure that you have that plus sign with your pointer and click and hold, and then you can drag it to the right side of your slide because our words are going to be on the left side of the slide and our pictures are going to be on the right side of the slide. That's just because we're just doing a basic introduction to this style. But when you get more advanced on these slides, you get to do lots of different things. But for this assignment, keep the words on the left and the pictures on the right. And go ahead and try a couple different searches. You are allowed to have 2 images on this slide. So you can pick 2 different ones. And you can play with the size of the picture. If you need any help, let me know, okay? I know this is kind of new, so this is how I did mine. If you need help resizing it or moving it or finding a different picture, let me know. But I see you guys working. I'm gonna give you a minute to pick some pictures. You can pick 2 to put on the slide. And actually, Harmony, you could look up for your second picture, birds in Oceania, since that's on your slide too. I think I'm going to use one of those. If you change your mind on a image, you can click on it and then just do backspace or delete and it takes it away. If you want to change your mind, that's okay. Oh, this guy's cute. I'm going to put this one in here. So the thing to remember as you're looking is to make sure that your pictures go with what you're going to be talking about for this slide. So you don't want to have some random thing like a zebra on your slide when you're not talking about zebras, right? You don't want to do that. Keep it with the topic that you're talking about on the slide. And it's kind of cool because it gives everybody else something to look at while you're talking. It makes the presentation so much more fun. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up when you got your two pictures on there. Oh, good, Harmony. I see that. Okay. I want to show you how to put a sticker on here next, which is okay on these slides. So each slide can have two pictures, two images, and one sticker. And that's it. I don't want any more than that. But let me show you how to find the stickers. So back on the sidebar where the images are at the top, there's a back arrow. You're going to click the back arrow, go back to the beginning, and then click on stickers. You're going to see some really cute stickers and some weird stickers like alien faces and stuff like that. But what I want you to do in that box for searching stickers is again, look for your search. Like for yours, Christian, it would be Pearl Harbor, or you can type like ship would be a good one, or Japanese airplane, something like that to match what you're talking about in your slide. I'm going to pick bird for yours, um, Harmony, and you're going to see some moving stickers. And just because this is fun and I want to make this fun for you guys, you can pick a sticker that's moving that goes along with your slide. And I don't know all of the birds or animals that you're going to talk about, Harmony, so I'm just going to pick a random one. This guy looks like one of those kiwi birds, you know? I think they're in Australia, so I feel like you might be talking about that one. Oh, and by the way, sometimes when you put in an image and you try to move it, it starts moving everything. So if you mess up by accident, you move the words and you don't want to move the words, there's a button right here that's an undo button. That's a really important one to know where it's at. So if you ever mess things up, and you want to undo what you just did, click this little backwards arrow right here, and that's undo. But sometimes when you're layering things on the slide, you might accidentally pick up the words when you're moving stuff. So you got to make sure when you move it, it puts that blue box around the actual sticker or image. Okay, so those are kind of fun. I got this spinning bird going on. Give me a thumbs up if you have two images and one sticker on your slide. I saw that, Harmony. Good. Okay, good. So this slide, like I said earlier, you can stop at two bullet points, or if you have more you want to add here later, you can add other bullet points. Just remember to only use a few words. Don't use a whole sentence here. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide now, and you can always come back to this and work with it later, okay? So go to the top toolbar again, go to slide, and again, click plus new slide, and you're going to see now a third slide pop up. All right, on this slide, click to add title again. You guys are familiar with that. This time, you're going to look at your second paragraph. So for Christian, that is the actual attack on Pearl Harbor. So you're going to put something like the actual attack or uh, attack on Pearl Harbor or however you want to title that slide. It's got to go with that paragraph. For yours, Harmony, I think your second one was the habitat for the animals. So you can put something like habitats in Oceania, or however you want to title that slide, it's got to match your second period or your second paragraph. Okay, once you got your title, click to add text down here, and we're going to do bullet points again. So remember, when you open that box and you got your cursor going, then you have these three little dots here on the top. Click those. Find where the bulleted list is. It's right here. It's got three dots and three lines next to it. Click that and it'll add a dot to your slide. Just like you did on the other slide, I want you to come up with two bullet points, and they're not complete sentences, but two things about the second paragraph that you want people to remember. That's important, okay? The most important things in those paragraphs. Once you have your two bullet points, you can give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. I see that, Harmony. So what did you put for your two bullet points? I know it's hard to switch back and forth between Zoom and Google. There you go.
Dry deserts.
And what's the other one? Oops.
I heard dry deserts, and then what was the second one?
Dry deserts.
And
Tropical forests. Rainforests.
Awesome. So yes, now you're ready to start putting in two images and one sticker. So you know how to find those. You can start with the sticker since we're on that part of the search on the side, and you can type in dry desert or tropical forest and pick a sticker. So remember, you guys can have two images and one sticker. So Christian, did you find your bullet points yet? Okay, what did you put for your bullet points?
That the attack on Pearl Harbor and how the USS Arizona exploded.
Okay, good. And I think you should put the year that the attack happened somewhere on there too. That can be a third bullet point. Okay, good. And you just used a few words, right? Not a whole sentence. Make sure it's not a whole sentence. Okay, good. So you're ready to add two images and a sticker. You can work on that. On that slide, remember, make sure that your images go with your information on your slide. Make sure it goes with it. I do want to talk to you about the other option down there where it says Google Images. You can use that to search images. That's okay with me, but do not open a new tab and search Google that way, because that opens up a lot more that you don't need. So you're going to keep your search only on this app, only through the Google Slides, okay? Don't go outside of that for your search.
I'm done with my images and my stickers.
Okay, good. So tell me the exact words you put next to your bullet points there.
The first one was attack on Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
And the second one was USS Arizona exploded.
Good. Okay, those are really good. Yep, I like those. Okay, how about you, Harmony? Did you find two stickers, or I mean, two stickers, two images and a sticker for that slide yet?
Looking for my last picture.
Okay, we'll give you a minute to do that. And then in the meantime, Christian, if you want to add more bullet points, you can. Excuse me, I'm sorry, my allergies are so bad right now. Ugh, my nose won't stop. And Christian, I know that you are familiar with this app. And if you want to change things about like the background and stuff, since you know about that, you can just make sure it's not too busy. Okay, keep it really simple. You can just change the color or something like that, but make it clean, really clean looking. That's the main thing. Okay. Thumbs up when you got your pictures, Harmony. Good. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to the next slide. You guys know what to do. Go up to slide, click plus new slide. Now we're on slide 4. This slide is going to be about your third body paragraph. So for Christian, I have here that you wrote about after the aftermath after the attack. And Harmony wrote about interesting facts about those animals. So you come up with a title for the slide that goes with that third paragraph you wrote. And then you can go ahead and put in your bullet points. You should know how to do that now. If you need me to walk through it again, I could do it again. But you have to, the first thing you have to do is like click in the box and then go find those, put those bullet points in there. And you can go ahead and work on your images, 2 images and a sticker for this slide. I'm going to give you guys some time to work on that. Let me know if you have any questions. Christian, did you figure out your bullet points? What'd you put on that slide?
I put that a lot of things were destroyed, but like I don't know how to put that in small not real sentence.
Okay.
Stuff was destroyed. Things were destroyed.
Um, and when in your paper, are you talking about like airplanes and equipment and things like that?
Yeah,
Or are you talking about people
like
too?
vehicles were destroyed. Vehicles.
Wait, say that again.
Vehicles were destroyed.
Oh, okay, yeah. You could put that.
Wait, oil.
Or go ahead.
Like they bombed oil, so I could put oil was destroyed because then it exploded.
Yeah, you could. Pretty much, could you say everything was destroyed? I mean, was it pretty much wiped out everything, right?
Yeah,
People,
that sounds better.
yeah, you could just do that. Because you're talking about people and things and planes and tanks and oil and all their supplies. Everything was just like
All right,
gone.
got it. Everything was
Okay,
destroyed.
good. And then what's your other bullet point?
I think it was like, oh yeah, it's that the U.S. declared war on Japan the same day.
Okay, good. So you don't need the US. You could just put like US declared war on Japan. You don't have to even put same day. Because see, what's going to happen is you're gonna tell us about that because you're gonna read that and we're just gonna look at the bullet point. Harmony, did you get your bullet points on there? Yeah. Okay. What did you put for your bullet points?
Points. What do you have? Platypus, a cassowary.
Oh, good. So you just put the names of the animals. I like it. Good. So go ahead and look for those two images and a sticker. And you too, Christian. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up when you find two images and a sticker and your slide is ready. Okay, good. I see that, Harmony. Okay, good. I see that, Christian. All right, we're going to do one more slide. So go ahead and go up to slide plus new slide. So you should have 5 all together. Your last slide is going to be a thank you slide. So you're just going to type in the title, thank you with an exclamation point. Now, usually when you give a slideshow presentation, you're always thanking your listeners at the end for listening. That's what you're thanking them for. So for me, I'm going to make this bigger because I want my thank you to be, the main part of the slide, or at least a big part of the slide. So what you can do is highlight it and then go up to where you see the number, font number, and there's a plus sign next to it. And you could just keep clicking plus, 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 until you get it the size you want it. I'm going to make mine that big. Another kind of cool feature to do is mine is not centered. Yours might be centered, but mine's not in the center. So I'm going to leave it highlighted like that. I'm going to go to my 3 little dots where we found the bullets, but this time I'm going to go all the way to the edge here where it says align on the left side of that bar, and then click it, and I'm going to pick the one that has the lines in the middle. That says center. And then that way I have my thank you in the middle of my slide like that. If you want to do that, you can. You don't have to. I just want to show you how to move words around if you want to move and center a thank you. And then you can add, again, 2 stickers or 2 images and 1 sticker. But this time it can be your choice, something that has to do with you. And I'm making this a fun slide. It does not have to be about Oceania this time. You can put football, or you can do like flowers or puppies or whatever you are interested in within reason, because I know this is a school project, so keep it appropriate for school. And if you want to add stickers, a sticker and 2 images, still only that, okay? Two images and 1 sticker. You can make this personal. So if I want to type in my stickers, let's see, I'll go to stickers. Maybe I want to do a bunny. Bunnies are cute. Pick a bunny. It's cute. Oh, and this looks like Bugs Bunny. Yes, it is. I love Bugs Bunny. I remember watching that when I was a kid. Something like that, just for fun, so you can learn how to get around on this. I'm going to make it a little smaller. Put it here. Maybe you could put it anywhere on your screen this time. Maybe I'll look up in my images something else, so you can kind of play around with this a little bit. I might pick flowers for a sticker. Something for fun. So you think about the things. I know Harmony really likes Princess Peach and those different characters. You can pick some Mario Brothers characters. Whatever 3 things you want. And like I said, you can change this and play around with it for your homework this week and add more bullet points. The assignment is 2 to 5 or 2 to 4 actually bullet points on each slide. So if you want to add more bullet points later, you can. change the color of your font, the background. You can play around with that this week for your homework. I'll give you a few minutes to kind of design this page, and you can give me a thumbs up when you're done with your page. I just typed in here border too for fun to see what it had, so you can actually add a border to your slide too. It might be a little tricky because you'll have to move the words so you can still read the words, but you can play around with it. I'm still in class. I'll show you really quick if you want to change the color of your font on this page. If you highlight the words thank you, and then go to this capital A with a big line underneath it on your toolbar at the top, you can change that color. Pick a color. Good, I saw that, Harmony. All right, so, and Christian, if you're not done, that's okay. You're gonna have time to work on this later this week. This is your homework, so you guys can have fun with this. I want to show you really quick how to give it a name. It's already saved. Anytime you do anything in Google, it automatically saves it on your Google Drive. But I want to show you how to name your slideshow. And up here on the top left side, you'll see where it says Untitled Presentation. If you actually click on that, it'll put in whatever title you put on your first slide. So on my slide, I put Animals of Oceania. And then make sure to click out of it so that it's not blue anymore, and then that'll save it in that little box. So that can be the name of your slide. And then I want you to X out of this window because I want to show you how to find your slideshow later. Okay, so go ahead and just X out of your window. I'll X out of mine too. Don't worry, it's saved, I promise. Let's see. And then when you open up a new tab again, I'll share mine. So like you're starting over on a new Google tab. The way to find your slide show is to look for your icon again, like we did at the very beginning. On the side here, mine has my picture. Yours should have your initial. Go next to it and click on your waffle. When you click on your waffle, you're going to go to Drive this time, Google Drive. There's a couple of other ways to find it. I just want to show you how to find it here. You could go to slide, and instead of clicking like blank slide, you would just find it. And it should be the first thing listed right here in your Google Drive. Give me a thumbs up if you see your slideshow there. Okay, good. I see yours, Christian. Good. And when you click on it, you're going to double click on it. And there it goes. It opens up in your slideshow. So next week, or this coming week, you're going to work on this for your homework. Make sure you have all your bullet points. Make sure you have your slides exactly how you want them. And then you're going to attach them to the Google Classroom. And I know Harmony, sometimes you email me your stuff, and that's okay if you guys email me the slideshow instead of using Google Classroom. I'm okay with that. But Christian, just like how you upload your Google Docs, you're going to do the same thing for your slide to the classroom, okay? On the assignment.
I could also send it to you on my computer.
Yeah, you could, but I'm going to make it an assignment. So I want to be able to put a grade on it. So I do want you to put it on Google Classroom. And then next week, the first part of the class, what we'll do is practice doing the slideshow, like how to actually do the show, so you don't see all the extra sidebars and stuff. So you just, when you share your screen, I'll teach you how to do that. So here's two things. You want to make sure that your 3 paragraphs are the way you want them to be. You want it to sound really good because you're going to read them to the class. So what I want you to do is practice reading your 3 paragraphs to somebody, an adult at your house. Okay. Make sure it makes sense because you might have missed something. And I want you to turn it in. Let's see, your class is Thursday. So I want you to turn it in by Tuesday next week so that I have time to grade it, give you feedback, and then if there's anything you need to fix on your paragraphs or your slides, then you have time to do that. Okay. So try to have your homework in by next Tuesday. All right. So all your homework is this week is to get your slideshow the way you want it and make sure your paragraphs are good to go. And that's it. So good job, you guys. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one. Bye.